Ever wish you could quit your job, live like a boss, and never again have to fake laugh at Steve from accounting's funny emails? That, my friends, is the magic of FIRE, financial independence, retire early. But hold on, before you picture yourself in your 30s retired, eating ramen noodles like a broke college kid, let me stop you. FIRE is not a one-size-fits-all cult where everyone eats instant noodles in the dark. It's evolved into 6 spicy flavors, like the financial Baskin-Robbins. And today I'm scooping out every one of them so you can pick your favorite. Let's ignite this thing. LeanFIRE. LeanFIRE is the scrappy underdog of the FIRE family. It's retirement on a modest budget, the financial equivalent of living on black coffee and ambition. We're talking $25,000 to $40,000 a year. That's not Uber Eats every night. That's rice, beans, and maybe Chipotle if guac isn't extra. To pull it off, you'll need roughly $600,000 to $1 million invested. Save half your paycheck for 10 to 20 years, and you could be out by your early 40s. Picture this. You're 30, making $55,000. You drive a car that wheezes louder than your uncle's sleep apnea, you share rent with 2 roommates, and you bring PB&Js to work like it's fine dining. At 42, you move to Portugal where $2,500 per month buys you cafe lunches, ocean views, and pastries better than anything at Starbucks. But LeanFIRE comes with strings attached. Frugality isn't optional, it's the lifestyle. Geo-arbitrage is your best friend. Want that budget to stretch? Move. Wiggle room is thin. Unexpected expenses, market crash? That 3 to 3.5% withdrawal rate is your shock absorber. Social Security? Probably a footnote. If you stop working in your 40s, your benefit check will be more like a tip jar than a safety net. So why do it? Because LeanFIRE gives you time. You don't need millions, just discipline and a plan. But maybe beans and rice forever doesn't scream dream retirement. Maybe you want surf and turf, a Tesla, and vacations that don't involve budget airlines. Say hello to FatFIRE. FatFIRE. FatFIRE is the luxury edition. This isn't early retirement. This is early retirement with champagne service. Here you're spending $150,000 plus a year, first-class flights, Whole Foods without guilt, maybe even a vacation home in Aspen. That takes a portfolio of $2.5 million to $5 million. With high income and aggressive investing, you could hit it in 15 to 25 years. Example: a New York power couple earns $400,000, maxes out 401ks, dumps money into taxable accounts, and retires at 52 with $3.5 million. They travel 6 months out of the year, split time between a Manhattan condo and a mountain home in Colorado. That's not retiring, that's flexing. The strategy here: conservative withdrawals around 3%, supplement with dividends, real estate, or annuities to buffer against downturns. But watch out: lifestyle inflation. The more you make, the more your friends spend, the more you'll want to keep up. Suddenly, I'll save half turns into, but the $200 sushi boat was worth it. Social Security? Nice bonus. But FatFIRE folks don't plan around it. They plan around never having to check price tags again. But maybe you don't need to live like a Bond villain. Maybe you just want to ditch your 9 to 5 and still have a little structure. That's where BaristaFIRE pours the perfect half-calf compromise. BaristaFIRE. BaristaFIRE is financial independence with a side of latte art. Your investments cover the essentials and a low-stress part-time job covers the rest. Spending range? $40,000 to $75,000 a year. Portfolio? $500,000 to $1.5 million. Picture a 45-year-old graphic designer. She leaves corporate life but keeps a handful of freelance clients. Her portfolio pays for rent and groceries. Her part-time work pays for extras, healthcare, and the occasional splurge. Withdrawals are light, maybe 2% because you're still earning. When you fully retire later, you can bump it to 4 to 5%. Best part? Flexibility. You're no longer chained to a job you hate. You get to pick gigs you actually like, or at least don't dread on Monday mornings. Social Security? It's a real factor here. Working part-time into your 50s and 60s keeps those benefits growing, so when you finally stop, Uncle Sam actually shows up with a check worth noticing. But maybe you want the opposite. No side hustle, no latte foam hearts. Just let compounding do the work while you coast. Enter CoastFIRE. CoastFIRE. CoastFIRE is financial autopilot. You save hard early, then let compound interest carry you the rest of the way. Example: at 32, a teacher has saved $250,000. She stops maxing accounts, keeps working, and by 60, that pile has grown into $1.5 million plus, without another dime added. It's like pushing a boulder downhill. Hard work up front, then gravity or compounding takes over. No withdrawals until retirement. At that point, you go classic 4 to 5%. In the meantime, you enjoy life with less savings pressure. Who's this for? People who actually enjoy their careers, want the option to downshift later, are young enough to let compounding marinate for decades. Social Security? Still solid because CoastFIRE usually means you're working a full career. You're just not stressed about saving every last penny along the way. But maybe you don't want the extreme sprint or the coast and cruise approach. You want balance, vacations now, and financial independence later. Welcome to Slow F-I-R-E, Slow FIRE. Slow FIRE is basically traditional retirement, but smarter, earlier, and more intentional. Instead of hoping Social Security bails you out at 67, you plan for late 50s, early 60s financial independence. You save 20 to 35% of income, target $1.5 million to $2.5 million, and still enjoy life along the way. Example: a couple in their 40s saves 25%, still takes vacations, and pays off their mortgage. They retire at 58 with $2 million and zero debt. That's not barely scraping by, that's freedom with a paid-off house. Withdrawals? 4 to 5%, or use guardrails to adjust with the market. Social Security? Big factor here. You'll have decades of contributions, so benefits can be significant, especially if you play the timing game right, claiming at 62 versus F.I.R.E. versus 70. The key difference from traditional retirement: control. You're not just saving whatever's left at the end of the month. You're building freedom on purpose. But maybe you don't want full throttle or slow burn. You just want halfway, stack enough cash, then glide into a chill semi-retirement. That's when LeanFIRE struts in. LeanFIRE. LeanFIRE is the half now, coast later plan. You save 50% of your FIRE number, say $800,000 toward a $1.6 million goal, then step back. Example: at 38, a couple hits $800,000, moves to Spain, freelances 10 hours a week, and lets compounding carry the rest. By their mid-50s, they've got the full $1.6 million without breaking a sweat. Withdrawals? 0 in the early years. You live off part-time work, let your nest egg grow untouched, and then retire fully later. Best part? You're semi-retired in your 30s or 40s sipping sangria while your investments work overtime. Social Security? Depends. If you cut back to part-time in the US, you'll still build benefits, just smaller ones. If you freelance abroad, that check could shrink more. Bottom line, LeanFIRE is a glide path to freedom. Less grind, less stress, more balance. So now you've met all 6 FIRE personalities. Question is, are you a minimalist bean counter, a luxury baller, or somewhere in between? Closing. Whether you're lean, fat, barista, coast, slow, or flamingo, FIRE isn't just about quitting your job. It's about designing your life so you can live it on your terms. So, what's your flavor of FIRE? Drop it in the comments below. And hey, if this video sparked an idea for your own FIRE journey, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and share it with a friend who still thinks retirement starts at 65. Because remember, the earlier you start, the sooner you FIRE.